I spent all these years not opening my mouth, because my body refused to speak. It must have been the suddenness of it. My eyes skywards, shut up inwards, hidden underneath these old rooms in these ancient cities, hidden underneath the streets. A pauper's paradise. The backyards of the royals with the French balustrade, copied and copied throughout. The fancy metalwork's existence hiding all the years spent conceiving its design, the blood that poured into its creation. You see, everything you see represents thousands of moments unseen. You'll forget that and see only the surface. The water seemingly calm. The sky a sweet summertime blue bliss. Lovers moving soundlessly against the rub of life. And I'll return to my home, mouthless, at the mouth of the river, of the sea that stretches endlessly into oblivion. The body of these two bodies, pregnant with laughter, overflowing generously, their violence lapping at the bottoms of skirts, at the tops of crowns. Chaos is the nature of the beasts. They know this best. There is a rhythm to the flowing of the streams, in between the marshes of salt beds, and the salt and the perspiration running down the back of the neck. There is a balance that is unseen, unless you look closely, as if this were the first moment of your life, or the last one. Hidden underneath the darkness of the storm of the city without lights, this ship wrecked underneath the unbelievable, a giant waltzing over the land, leaving humanity on its own, our technological genius slipping, a stutter in the face of nature, faltering back into the terrain, into the damp of the marshes, the thickness of the late summer, and the sweltering heat enveloping everything. Overtaking the city, the countryside, all within its wake. This is what happens afterwards. Time moves again, starting all over. Hidden just beyond the edges of the waves. It is at this point where the lake has overtaken its boundaries that I hear the story of what happened. It's there, beneath the land of talk, making sense of nothing. It's the chaos that opens up before the puzzle is put back together to fit our needs, to hide the hidden. There I see the two histories connected, in the inequities that were there all along, silent and always noticeable, in the hundreds of years of a new world of hope, lying atop bones of bodies broken and beaten, malnourished and heavy with the brutality that affords every year of a milliard of success. This is only visible in the wake of a tidal wave, of lakes that revolt, of dams and levees that give in to the motion of the current. This is a chance to see the wheel spin once again. Take notice. It will come around for you to ignore. Take notice. These thoughts, owned only briefly in this moment, have always been in between the lines. They were waiting for you to discover their existence. Remember how many times you proclaimed to know what I was really trying to say underneath my words? Remember how you tried to suss out his childhood through the way he found beauty in the flickering lights outside his council flat? As if you could trace every experience he had lived through and the way he traced the marks of life across the withering edges of your face? And how about that time when you made amends for her tolerance of the bottle, of unearthing steady hell buried underneath the wet leaves and thick black gold near that lake so many years ago? Underneath everything there are these moments, whole events spanning outwards, endlessly cycling through different shades, looking slightly off, though so similar to their former and future selves. I've thought these questions over and over. Does any of this matter if it's all going to happen again the same way at some point in time? Does any of this matter if all of this will disappear after we're gone? Does it matter that you forgot about those people buried in that empty lot underneath the asphalt of Tamarind Boulevard, only to rediscover that they were there because you had forgotten about them, long before they were lying lifeless in the mud and the water? Does it matter that you're no longer thinking about the tent cities and rotting houses around New Orleans that ask you to remember that this thing which happened too long ago for you to recall continuously happens again and again every minute? You must have told me one day, one of those late autumn days when the sky's blueness looks as if it stretched infinitely away from the earth, and you imagine a Scandinavian sky of a childhood you never experienced. You must have said that we all move along, away from the terrible events. That we don't look them dead on. That we bury our dead and revisit them centuries later, when a new event reminds us of the old, and we feel safe, false sense of security, to unearth what has actually been right there all along, haunting us for centuries.